The world often spins on a relentless axis. Most people awaken each morning to the chime of an alarm clock. The day unfolds with a predictable rhythm, a sequence of duties. Commute through crowded streets. Work diligently for hours. Return home weary. Eat a hurried meal. Sleep only to repeat the pattern. Is this frantic pursuit the life we genuinely desire for ourselves? Or is it a script written by others, one we have unthinkingly adopted as our own? From the dense, verdant mountains of Jamaica, a different story emerges. It is the story of the Maroons. Their name itself speaks of defiance, of courage, of an unbreakable spirit. These were people who faced not the metaphorical chains of modern life, but the cold, hard iron of enslavement. They were Africans, forcibly brought to a new land, destined for a life of brutal labour. Yet, in the face of unimaginable hardship, they chose a path less travelled, a path of formidable resistance and extraordinary determination. They refused to be defined by their captors. Their world was one of systematic cruelty. The vast sugar plantations of colonial Jamaica were places of immense suffering. This system was meticulously designed to crush the human will, to extract labour at any cost. Life was cheap, dignity a forgotten word. The whip, the brand, the constant threat of violence were daily realities. For many, hope was a distant memory, a flickering ember. But within this darkness, some spirits refused to be extinguished. They held onto an inner fire, a belief in their inherent worth and right to be free. The Jamaican Maroons, in their mountain strongholds, lived a life of remarkable self-sufficiency. They achieved this centuries before phrases like financial independence or quitting the rat race entered our common vocabulary. They instinctively understood the core principles of true freedom. For them, it was not about accumulating vast monetary wealth. It was about possessing autonomy over their time, their labour, and their lives. They understood that true wealth lay in self-determination and the ability to provide for themselves and their community, free from external control. They did not wait for permission to be free. They seized it. Within their liberated territories, they established thriving communities. They created their own systems of governance, making decisions collectively. They lived in a profound, often harsh, yet respectful relationship with the natural world. They hunted, they farmed. They built their own homes, using the resources the land provided. Their currency was skill, cooperation, and unwavering resolve. The term rat race paints a vivid picture in the mind. It speaks of a frantic, endless scurry, a relentless pursuit with no clear destination or lasting reward. This is the daily reality for countless individuals across the globe. It is the cycle of working primarily for survival, a life governed by the need to earn enough to cover immediate expenses. Each day blends into the next, marked by the same routines, the same pressures, the same underlying anxieties. There is often little room left for genuine passion, for creative exploration, or for simply being present in one's own life. It is a treadmill, constantly moving, demanding effort, yet ultimately leading nowhere new. This modern existence often pushes us to chase external markers of success. We are encouraged to climb the career ladder, to accumulate more possessions, to achieve a certain level of financial standing. These goals become the driving force behind our actions. We work longer hours, take on more responsibilities, and sacrifice precious personal time. The pressure to keep up with societal expectations, or with the perceived success of others, can be immense. This constant striving can feel like progress, but it often leaves us feeling empty. Many find themselves ensnared in the rat race without ever consciously choosing it. It is often a path followed by default, a track laid down by societal norms and expectations from a young age. We are guided through educational systems that prepare us for specific careers. We are shown images of the good life that invariably involve certain possessions and professional achievements. This prescribed lifestyle can feel like the only sensible option, the most secure route. The walls of this metaphorical cage are often invisible, constructed from assumptions, traditions, and the quiet pressure to conform. The insidious nature of this modern trap lies in its apparent comfort and its subtle rewards. Steady employment can provide a sense of security, a regular income, and access to material comforts. These are the golden handcuffs, benefits that make it progressively harder to consider alternatives. The longer one stays, the more one has to lose, or so it seems. Dreams of a different life, perhaps a life with more autonomy or purpose, may slowly fade. They are replaced by the immediate demands of maintaining the status quo, of simply keeping one's head above water in a competitive environment. To truly grasp the confining nature of the modern rat race, it is useful, though sobering, to draw a comparison. Imagine, for a moment, the sheer brutality of the system the Jamaican Maroons faced. They endured literal chains, the sting of the whip, the constant threat of violence, and the complete negation of their humanity. Their servitude was absolute, their bodies and labour owned by others. The modern rat race, of course, does not involve such overt physical cruelty for most. Yet, it can be seen as a different, more subtle form of bondage, one where the chains are economic and mental. In this contemporary system, individuals may not be owned in the legal sense, but their time and energy often feel as though they belong to others. The vast majority of waking hours are dedicated to a job, often to fulfill the objectives of an employer or the demands of a market. There is a pervasive sense of obligation, a feeling of being perpetually on call. This can lead to a profound loss of autonomy, a sense that one's life is not truly one's own. In the 17th and 18th centuries, Jamaica was a land dominated by immense sugar plantations. First under Spanish, then British rule, these enterprises were built upon the brutal enslavement of African people. Life on these plantations was a relentless cycle of forced labour, cruelty, and despair. Yet, from this darkness, a powerful form of resistance emerged: marronage. This was the act of escaping enslavement and creating independent communities. Across the Americas, brave individuals chose flight over bondage. The Jamaican Maroons became one of the most enduring and celebrated examples of this courageous defiance, a constant challenge to the inhumanity of the system. Their story is one of extraordinary human spirit. The first Maroons were a diverse group of Africans. Many were recently enslaved, torn from their homes in regions like the Gold Coast, known today as Ghana. Among them were the Akan people, including the Coromantes, who carried strong military traditions and an unyielding spirit of resistance. Others were born into the oppressive system of slavery, but could no longer endure its chains. They refused to accept their fate as property. The decision to escape was an immediate, profound reclamation of their inherent dignity and their fundamental right to be free, forging sanctuaries. Life in the mountain strongholds. Establishing a new life in these wild, remote regions presented formidable challenges. The cockpit country, for instance, is a unique landscape of steep-sided valleys and sinkholes, covered in thick vegetation. While these features provided excellent natural defences against outsiders, They also made agriculture and movement incredibly difficult for the Maroons themselves. They had to learn quickly, adapting their ancestral knowledge to this new environment. They developed an intimate understanding of the terrain, using its complexities to their advantage. What seemed like obstacles became vital elements of their strategy for survival and defense against colonial powers. The Maroon communities did not spring into existence fully formed. Initially, they were likely small, scattered bands of fugitives, bound together by their shared experience of escape and their common goal of remaining free. Over time, through resilience and remarkable organization, these groups coalesced into more stable, structured settlements. The constant threat from colonial forces and the necessities of survival fostered a deep sense of unity and interdependence. These were not simply hideouts, they were the birthplaces of new societies forged in the crucible of resistance, each with its own evolving social fabric and distinct way of life. Leadership was crucial in this process of community building and defense. Charismatic and skilled individuals rose to prominence, guiding their people. Figures like Juan de Bolas, who led a group of Maroons during the transition from Spanish to English rule, and later the legendary Cudjo of the Leeward Maroons, his brothers Akompong and Johnny, and Quao in the east, became central to their people's survival. Perhaps most famously, Nanny of the Windward Maroons emerged as a powerful spiritual and military leader. These leaders were often chosen for their exceptional bravery, their strategic acumen, and their ability to inspire and unite. Within these mountain strongholds, a vibrant and unique Maroon culture blossomed. It was a dynamic fusion of diverse African traditions, creatively adapted to their new Jamaican surroundings and the realities of their continuous struggle. They developed distinct Creole languages, such as Cromanti, which often served as a ritual language. Their spiritual beliefs blended ancestral African religions with new interpretations reflecting their experiences. Storytelling, music, drumming, and dance were not just forms of entertainment, but vital expressions of their identity, history, and resilience, binding the community together and passing knowledge through generations. This cultural richness was a testament to their enduring spirit, the architecture of autonomy, self-sufficiency, and skill. Maroon existence was built on self-sufficiency. They built lives independent of the colonial economy. This began with food. They cultivated yams, cassava, plantains, and maize. Farming was communal, ensuring everyone was fed. Hunting provided essential protein. They were skilled artisans and builders. They used local plants for food, medicine, and crafting. Homes were built from forest resources. Thatch provided roofing, and mud created walls. They fashioned their own tools and created household necessities. Knowledge was shared across generations. Their economy was based on cooperation and reciprocity. Barter systems were common for exchanging goods. This system fostered social cohesion and mutual support. Their self-reliant way of life was a profound statement. They demonstrated that African people could live freely and govern themselves. Their existence challenged the foundations of the slave system, guardians of their realm, governance, and enduring resistance. Maroon communities established sophisticated systems of self-governance. These systems reflected their diverse African political heritages. Leadership was vested in a chief or captain, advised by a council of elders. Leaders like Nanny were chosen for their wisdom and bravery. Their military skills became legendary. They developed effective guerrilla warfare tactics. Their communication network included the Abeng, a side-blown cow horn. This led to prolonged conflict with colonial authorities. Historic treaties were signed, recognizing their freedom and granting autonomy. The Maroons achieved a remarkable feat. They lived financial independence. Their wealth was not counted in coins or paper money. It was measured in something far more tangible, and in the strength of their unbreakable community. This was freedom, pure and hard-won. Land was their first and most fundamental asset. It was the source of their sustenance, their security. This earth, fiercely defended, was their liberty. Healers knew the secrets of forest plants. No one was without value. Everyone contributed. Community was perhaps their most precious treasure. This communal wealth provided resilience. In their unity, they found an enduring prosperity. The Maroons' way of life was a deliberate economic strategy. They were consciously building a thriving, independent existence. Their goal was to be completely free. They achieved this by mastering sustainable living. Their entire society was built upon this core principle. Their agricultural practices were key to their autonomy. By controlling their own food supply, they broke chains. This food security was a cornerstone of their independence. The internal economy of Maroon communities was unique. It thrived without coins or currency. Built on direct exchange and cooperation, barter systems allowed fair trade of goods. Skills and labour were valuable commodities. Everyone's contribution mattered. An economy rooted in tangible value. This directness built trust and mutual respect. Skills became a form of currency. A farmer could trade surplus yams for fresh meat from a hunter, or a basket from an artisan. Healing services from a herbalist were invaluable. Diverse talents were recognized, benefiting the entire community. Everyone played a part in this web of exchange. Needs were met through shared abilities. Community capital was the invisible glue. This wealth is not on any balance sheet. It consisted of trust, earned through action. It included reciprocity, the understanding of give and take, shared responsibility for the common welfare. This deep social wealth underpinned their economic resilience. It allowed them to weather storms and overcome challenges. Their bonds were stronger than any currency. This was the true foundation of their economic system. This approach stands in contrast to modern finance. Our systems are often impersonal, complex, and debt-driven. The Maroons built wealth through relationships. They focused on mutual benefit and collective well-being. Their economic interactions strengthened social ties. It was not solely about individual accumulation of money. It was about ensuring the prosperity of the group. A powerful reminder of what an economy can be. Focused on people, not just profit. The Maroons lived the essence of financial independence. They achieved this over 300 years ago. Their goal was authentic, unshakable freedom. Economic self-sufficiency was their chosen path. They understood that control over resources meant control over life. This understanding was central to their survival and triumph. Their story offers profound lessons for us today. The journey of the Maroons from chains to freedom was not merely physical. It was a profound revolution of the mind. Before a single step, a powerful internal shift had occurred. They refused to accept slavery as their destiny. This mental resolve was the bedrock of their rebellion. It guided them through unimaginable perils. They believed their lives had intrinsic value. This belief was a radical act of defiance. True liberation begins within. They dared to imagine and create a reality of autonomy. The Maroons possessed an acute awareness of the system that sought to contain them. They did not passively accept the conditions of the plantation. Today, we face a different kind of pervasive system, the modern rat race. It can subtly confine our spirits, our time, and our aspirations. Like the Maroons, we must develop a critical awareness. We need to question whether this pre-packaged life truly aligns with our deepest desires. It starts with a courageous internal decision. The Maroons did not wait for freedom, they seized it. This awakening is the vital precursor to reclaiming your time and your life, igniting your inner Maroon. The decision to be free. The legacy of the Maroons is a living call to action. It speaks to the core of human aspiration, the yearning for freedom. The same indomitable spirit can be cultivated within each of us. It begins with a mindset shift, a choice to embrace agency. The power to change your trajectory resides within you. This starts with a single, resolute decision. This decision is a commitment to take back control. Your time, energy, and life are too precious to be squandered. The Maroons decided they would no longer live under the yoke of slavery. You can decide to no longer live under the yoke of financial stress, or a life devoid of passion. This is not about blaming external circumstances, but about recognizing your own power to respond, to adapt, and to create a new reality for yourself, step by determined step. Embracing this Maroon mindset means challenging the limiting beliefs that may have held you captive. It means questioning the societal scripts that dictate what success should look like. Fear will undoubtedly arise. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of judgment. The Maroons faced far greater, life-threatening fears, yet their desire for freedom was stronger. We too can learn to acknowledge our fears without letting them paralyze us. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it, fueled by a clear vision of a more liberated future. Ultimately, the mindset shift is about choosing to live intentionally, not by default. It is about actively designing a life that reflects your values, your passions, and your definition of freedom. The Maroons did not just escape. They actively built a new world. They took responsibility for their future. In the same vein, escaping your personal plantation requires more than just wishing for change. It demands a proactive stance, a willingness to learn, to grow, and to take consistent action. It starts now, with the powerful decision to reclaim your time, your autonomy, and your inherent right to live free. Reclaiming your resources. The first steps to freedom. The modern plantation is subtly built. It thrives on mindless consumption. Your first act of rebellion. Conscious, unwavering awareness. Where do your resources flow? Time, money, your vital life energy. Examine your life critically. See your chains clearly. Clarity is your weapon. Take practical steps. Cut unnecessary expenses. It's about intentionality. Learn needs versus wants. Small leaks sink ships. Careless expenses drain freedom. Reclaim control. Stand on your financial territory. Audit your life. Self-liberation. Free your mind. Clear financial clutter. Make space for what matters. Create your escape fund. Seed capital for autonomy. Initial discomfort is temporary. Reclaim your agency. Not a restriction, but a tool. Build your escape's foundation. Manage resources meticulously, planting new seeds, generating independent income. Relying solely on a single source of income can be risky. Diversify your income. A side hustle is more than extra cash. It's your own small plot of fertile land. Identify your unique marketable skills. Create a new stream of income you control. Build confidence and resilience. Each small success fuels the next. Investing in your sovereignty. Knowledge, assets, and enduring growth. The Maroons wisely invested in their survival, in their deep knowledge of the land, in their formidable fighting skills, in the strength of their united communities. For us, investing in ourselves is paramount. Embrace lifelong learning. Acquire valuable new skills. Personal growth is a profound asset, a treasure no one can take away. Consider acquiring tangible, lasting assets. The Maroons understood the power of land. Owning property can be a cornerstone of financial stability. Create a piece of the world that is truly yours. Providing security and stability. A modern equivalent of the Maroons' territories. A patient, long-term strategy for enduring security. Wise investing means strategically placing your financial resources, allowing them to grow for you. This could involve investments in stocks or bonds, or other ventures that generate passive income, or assets that appreciate in value over time. The modern counterpart to the Maroons planting crops that yield a future harvest. Securing sustenance beyond immediate needs. A testament to foresight and prudent planning. Strategic allocation of your resources. Your time, money, and effort. Directed towards sustainable growth. A personal rebellion against a system encouraging immediate gratification, and the accumulation of burdensome debt. A patient, disciplined approach. Building a strong fortress. A fortress of financial resilience. Much like the Maroons fortified their strongholds, the Maroons did not achieve their freedom alone. They built strong, tight-knit communities. Their legendary towns were places where mutual support was the unshakable law. In our quest for financial independence, a supportive community is vital. Seek out like-minded individuals who share your aspirations. This network becomes your council of wise elders, your fellow warriors. It provides moral support, practical advice, and valuable opportunities. Remember, the Maroon Way was about collective, shared liberation. The story of the Jamaican Maroons resonates deeply across the centuries. It stands as a timeless testament to the unyielding desire of the human spirit. A desire to live freely, to determine one's own destiny. Their struggle was not simply against physical chains. It was a profound fight for the very soul of their existence. They sought to redefine life on their own terms, away from oppression. Their legacy provides us with an extraordinary blueprint, a guide for anyone who feels ensnared by modern constraints, whether those constraints are financial burdens or unfulfilling careers. The Maroons demonstrated with unwavering courage that escape is possible. They showed that an alternative way of life can be forged. Even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, they carved out their freedom. Their mountain strongholds became symbols of hope, bastions of autonomy. The core principles that guided the Maroons remain profoundly relevant. Their emphasis on self-sufficiency, on owning their land, on building strong, supportive communities. These were the practical foundations of their liberty. They understood that true wealth was not measured in gold. It was measured in autonomy, in skill, in communal strength, and in the ability to live without subservience. Their journey was one of radical reimagination. They did not just break free from a system, they actively created a new one. A system built on their own values, their own rules, their own vision for a just society. This creative act of world-building is perhaps their most inspiring lesson. It challenges us to look beyond our current circumstances, to envision the kind of lives we truly wish to lead, and to find the courage to begin constructing that reality piece by piece, just as they did. Their echo reminds us that our future is not predetermined, it is created. The path to freedom begins with an internal shift. It starts with the same indomitable mindset that fueled the Maroons. Your battle may not involve physical warfare, yet modern life's pressures require courageous escape. Your journey demands resilience and clarity of purpose. It demands the awakening of your inner Maroon. Embrace the Maroon spirit by living with intention. Take back control over your time and life's direction. Face your fears and let your desire for liberation drive you. Become the architect of a more meaningful, autonomous life. The Maroons have left us an invaluable inheritance, a blueprint of courage, resilience, and unwavering self-determination. Their story is not just history. It's a living source of inspiration, a catalyst for meaningful action in our own lives. Your modern rebellion begins with a clear, well-thought-out plan and, crucially, of forging strong communities for mutual support. Each small victory builds momentum, bringing you closer to the life you envision. It is time to quit the modern rat race and reclaim your life, the Maroon way.